I was composing music, and I wanted to compose music for movies. If you want to write music for movies, you either have to have a really big orchestra or you have to have a few players that you write for. But I wasn't really satisfied with writing for only a few players, so I thought, well, how can I make this bigger? And then I met Panos, and he said to me, well, you know, what we can do is we can try and combine what I do with what you do. We're the JWO Orchestra. JWO was an English director who was very famous in the 1920s and 30s. You probably know him from Frankenstein, which is one of the iconic films that he made, and The Bride of Frankenstein, and quite a few other great films. And the reason that we're called JWO Orchestra is because our first ever movie that we made was Frankenstein, and we decided to call ourselves after him. And the JWO Orchestra is myself. My name's Alfred, I'm the composer, and my colleague Paniotis Ioannou, who is the technical electronics expert, I would call him, but he's the guy that creates all the samples. So what we have is a small number of players. Maybe you can see around me there's not so many instruments, and we combine that with live electronics, and which are created by Panos, and we give the impression of having a really big orchestra in the room, even though there's not very many people. And it's sort of our own unique concept, which we do. We're now on our third project. We've done Frankenstein, the first one we did, then we did City Girl, which is a very beautiful romance drama from the early 1930s. And now we're doing this project, which is our first thriller, by Alfred Hitchcock. When people think of Hitchcock, usually they think of the movies like Vertigo and Psycho and North by Northwest. Those are the really famous ones. And what those have in common is that their soundtracks are written by an American composer called Bernard Herrmann. Bernard Herrmann started working with Hitchcock in the 1960s. And so what we thought would be great to do is to go and try and make a soundtrack which had the kind of same style and ideas as the Bernard Herrmann soundtracks from the 1950s and 60s. It might seem like a strange idea, but I think nobody's done it before. And I think now we're trying it out, it's actually quite an interesting effect, because we're starting to watch the film in a different way. And of course, when you start playing music that sounds a little like Bernard Herrmann, people do start watching Hitchcock in a different way as well. So it's kind of an experiment with the audience, if you like. We like to try and work with different people for each movie, because different groups bring different things to different movies. For this one, we're very lucky to be working together with Postland. Postland is a contemporary music group, which means that they're players that know how to use extended techniques. Extended techniques are instruments. A lot of things that a lot of normal players don't do. They know how to make a lot of quite strange sound effects and things, which is absolutely perfect for writing for a thriller like Hitchcock. It's the ideal thing. I'm really lucky because I'm able to write very difficult parts, which need some specialist knowledge to do, and we can combine them with electronics to make a very atmospheric, well I hope, very atmospheric soundtrack for the movie. So yeah, this has been a great thing for us.